From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, hon.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Well, happy Tuesday morning to you. I want you to do a favor for me. I want you to try this out. If you have a morning routine where you got to get the kids ready for school, you got to get yourself ready for work, and you just need to know what's going on with the weather so you can plan your day, I think I've got a great solution for you. I've got a 24-hour streaming channel you may or may not know about, and it streams weather 24 hours a day. Think of it like the Weather Channel, but it's 100% local. Localized on the area. This forecast that you're watching is on that 24-hour channel on a regular basis. It's hard to miss. And on top of that, if you live anywhere in Northern California, whether it's Siskiyou County, Modoc County, the Eastern Mountains, the Valley, Trinity County, the North Coast, there are neighborhood forecasts for all of those regions to give you a personalized forecast for the day and for the next 7 days. So check that out. There's also special programming that airs throughout the day, and that is Turtle Bay's Wonderful World of Animals. Pet of the Week, if it hasn't been adopted, then it gets pulled. This week's has actually been adopted, so there is no Pet of the Week that we'll see on the channel just yet. And then, of course, there's another segment called Financial Freedom. So a lot of great segments out there outside of weather that'll kind of help you get you ready for the day. And on top of that, you've got current information right here, 10 different locations. Check that out. 7 different 10-day forecasts, 10 different 7-day forecasts that'll kind of loop through here as well. So turn it on, put it on in the background, get yourself ready for the day, get your kids out to school so they know what to wear and what you know what to wear. Get you prepared for the day and for the rest of the week. All right, so let's get you prepared for the day. It's going to be dry and warmer for today with a warming trend this week, cooler but mainly dry this weekend. We'll get into all of that in future casts here in a second. But let's get you out the door this morning. It's going to be a little chilly, but you may need a light coat in the valley. You can shed that here, though, through the afternoon. For Siskiyou, Modoc, Eastern Mountains, chilly this morning too, reaching somewhere in the low 70s for your daytime highs. Dry for everyone, even the North Coast, only reaching the low 60s today. And there will be some patchy morning fog for some of those low inland valleys, even for parts of Trinity County. Cool to start off the day, but because of the fog, it won't get too terribly cold for many of us. And then temperatures around 80 degrees for the inland areas in Trinity County later this afternoon. Futurecast is going to show dry conditions, mainly sunny skies. You'll also notice, especially as we go into Wednesday, we'll probably start to see more of those clouds begin to dissipate along the coast itself. So more sunshine there, not to mention warmer temperatures. But I also want to talk to you about rain, because as we look over the next 6 to 10 days, October 22nd through the 26th, there is a better chance of seeing above normal rainfall. Lighter shades of green means a slimmer chance, darker shades of green, even better chances. Now, does this mean everyone's going to see above normal rainfall? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is, yeah, we've got a decent chance of seeing some wet weather here in the long range. But before that rain comes, we've got to get through this heat wave first. And when I say heat wave, yes, hot for this time of the year. We are going to reach the low 90s for the valley and inland by Wednesday, Thursday, even quite possibly into Friday. But by the end of the week, this upcoming weekend, that warmer air moves out, cooler air moves in. Now, this is a weak system. So we will see the drop in our temperatures, but chances for rain are very, very slim with this system coming in over the weekend. Could some of us see a stray sprinkle or light shower? Absolutely. But I don't anticipate a lot, and it's going to be mainly just the cooler temperatures. Now, what I do have my eyes on is way up here. It's coming in from the Gulf of Alaska, much colder air. It's a deeper trough of low pressure, meaning it's stronger, it's cooler, and there's going to be a little bit more moisture for it to work with, which means a better chance for some wet weather in there as well. Now, this is a week away. We still got a long ways between now and then before any of this will happen. So we'll keep an eye on this, but that's the overall trend that we're seeing now. Temperatures warming up, cools off over the weekend, even more into early next week with potential for some wet weather. Now the wave heights, they're definitely going to be a bit of a concern here, as not necessarily today, but still fairly high, around 8 feet. But look at this. They're really starting to increase here by 12 to even 13 feet, and even getting higher as you start getting closer to the coast. Now that is going to create a bit of a concern. In fact, a beach hazard statement has been issued for tonight through Wednesday evening. And we're going to be looking at the threat for sneaker waves. And what those are is, the waves and the overall current may not look that bad, but then suddenly you get this big rush of water that can come out on the ocean, and that can be very dangerous, especially if you're kind of rock hopping over some of those rocks along the coast, or even just kind of wading in the water. It can sweep you away and can be very dangerous. So don't turn your back to the ocean, especially as you go through the day tomorrow. All right, here's your marine forecast. North winds at 5 to 15 knots. Waves from the south at 4 feet at 8 seconds, and from the northwest at 7 feet at 14 seconds. No advisories, at least for today, but of course you saw that beach hazard statement here for tonight and tomorrow. Temperatures warming up in the valley around the mid-80s. I'm expecting mid to upper 70s for the eastern mountains and the mountains in general, although Lassen Park about 65 degrees. There you can see along the coast, mid to even some upper 60s. And there you can see Trinity County, 79 for Weaverville, Weed about 71, Mount Shasta City about 74 degrees. So you're looking at your 7-day forecast. We're going to start with Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville, basically Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and the eastern mountains. Temperatures warming up. The peak will be tomorrow and Thursday before those temperatures start to drop, but for now, keeping it dry into early next week. Your 7-day outlook for the valley, also peak on Wednesday, Thursday, but we start to see those temperatures drop back down to the 80s by Friday and in the 70s by the weekend. So a pleasant weekend in store for us. Your 7-day outlook for the coast, also dry today in the next 7 days, and even warming up for the coast. Upper 60s for Thursday and Friday. And there you can see temperatures upper 80s, maybe even touching 90 for the inland areas Wednesday, Thursday, and upper 80s for Weaverville before we see those temperatures drop going into the weekend.